Hello again everyone, and welcome back to my channel where I'm going to be painting my shed. Simple as that. I'm just going to be painting my shed and rambling on. Yeah, listen to me ramble and paint my shed. Maybe stick me on whilst you're cooking tea, whilst you're on your way to work, or whatever, I don't know. But I'm going to talk about different things, about me, about gardening stuff. Anyway, I'm going to paint it this lovely midnight blue colour, which is a lovely colour. My favourite colour is blue, and yeah, lovely. Looks quite good. It looks quite thick as well. I was worried that it'd be quite thin after the last time I painted this shed. It was quite thin, the stuff that I painted this with a couple of years ago, and it's faded quite a lot. And it's not my favourite colour. This looked much better. So let's get on with it. Let's get on with painting my shed. I don't know how long this is going to take. I hope the battery doesn't run out on the camera. Enjoy. Okay, so I've given it a good mix, and I've got my brush here. Not just any old brush, it's a jumbo shed brush. So yeah, good coverage. I wanted to get the biggest brush possible to make this job as easy as possible. Okay, I'm going to have to tip this into something because I can't get my brush in here. Yeah, it's not going to go in that. I suppose it could actually. Yeah, we'll get away with that, I think. We'll just slap it on like that. I've not got a tray to put it in, so oh yeah, this shouldn't take too long at all, actually, because the brush is quite big. So, I actually had a wasp nest in here earlier. I was going in my toolbox to find some screws, some nails, and I discovered a wasp nest in my toolbox, which is very strange. I've never known that before. My toolbox. And that was a nasty surprise. A wasp came flying out, and I disposed of the wasp nest immediately, obviously, because you don't want that, do you really? Yeah. Oh, that's a lovely colour. Isn't that lovely? Much better than the slate grey. Hopefully I've got enough paint. Might only have to put one coat on here actually. Hopefully one coat does the whole shed. I'm going to tip this into a container actually. I'll have to try and find something because it's going to take too long. There we go, I found this old container here, which it's more surface area, so I can get my brush in there, it's a bit easier. Anyway, I'm just going to talk about me and my gardening journey and how I got into gardening and all that stuff, because I figured that most people only know me from the allotment. They don't know much about me personally, so I'm just going to ramble about my childhood and how I got an allotment and all that stuff. Where are the wasps? I think the wasp, I destroyed the wasp nest, but there was no wasps in there, just the larvae. So I think the queen wasp is still buzzing around, probably a bit annoyed at me. Anyway, so as a kid, yeah, I used to do a lot of gardening with my dad, who passed away 10 years ago, sadly, but I used to grow food with him and my grandma as well. He used to grow a lot of runner beans and things like that. I remember he used to grow them up some football netting in his back garden, and my grandma would go out and pick them, and she'd sit in her armchair and cut the runner beans into strips. I used to have them with tea quite a lot, so I do like me runner beans. And I just used to grow everything, to be honest. I used to just love watching everything grow from a seed to a plant, and then to harvesting from that plant. I just used to love the whole process. Watching sunflowers grow, I used to enjoy doing that. And I remember actually the first time I actually tried a courgette, it was actually a homegrown one, but I didn't intentionally grow the courgette. I actually got some seeds from the supermarket. I think I was only about 6 or 7, and I thought they were cucumber seeds. What they weren't actually, they were courgette seeds. So you can imagine my face, a 7-year-old, biting into what they think is a cucumber when it's actually a courgette. Because courgettes aren't all that nice raw. But yeah, we cooked it and I enjoyed them. So that was my experience as a 7-year-old growing courgettes. But I just used to grow everything. I think the best carrots I ever grew was when I was only like 7 years old. I grew some really big carrots. Never been able to grow them that big since. I think when you just throw them in and don't think about it and just let them grow, that's when you have the most success sometimes, when you don't overthink it. Lock the door. I'm not a professional painter. I'm just slapping it on, really. It should, I think it's a nice colour. It's a very nice colour. So yeah, I've enjoyed gardening ever since I was a child, actually, for as long as I can remember. And my dad taught me about how to grow potatoes. And I remember I was amazed when I found out that potatoes grew underground. When he taught me that you could literally just get a shop-bought potato and stick it in the ground and it will grow potatoes, I was absolutely gobsmacked. I could not believe it. And yeah, I grew some potatoes and it was really good. And yeah, I've just enjoyed it ever since. And 6 years ago, I decided to stick my name on a waiting list. And actually I wasn't waiting that long. I only waited for probably a couple of months before I was offered a plot, albeit not a very neat and tidy one. It needed a lot of work. It was quite neglected. But quite a few people had turned it down before me. But I saw potential in it. You know, I always try and see the good in everything. And I decided to take it on. Thankfully though, lockdown happened. Nobody saw that coming. But I took this plot on just a couple of months, about 3 or 4 months before lockdown. Perfect timing. And I actually got 6 months furloughed because I was a chef at the time. I used to be a chef, not anymore. I didn't really like the lifestyle very much. But I used to be a chef, and of course the hospitality industry was quite badly affected during COVID. So I was down on the allotment pretty much every day for 6 months. So I managed to change the allotment, really. I managed to make something of it. Turned it from a neglected plot to a productive plot. It took a lot of work. I'm still doing it. You know, there's still a lot of things I'm doing, and it's gonna be a lot more work. You have to continuously do work. It is hard. Requires a lot of time and effort, but it's well worth it. And it's not just a hobby. You know, it's a way of life as well. It's a lifestyle. And if you do want to call it a hobby, it's a productive hobby, for sure. It is very productive and rewarding. Good for your mental health as well. Really good for your mental health. So to be honest, in terms of interests and hobbies, gardening is pretty much my only hobby, really. I used to like photography. Well, I still do like photography, but I used to do a lot of photography in my teenage years as well. That's sort of comes hand in hand with the allotment now, because obviously YouTube and stuff. So you know, that you could sort of say that is my hobby now as well, with YouTube and photography and all that. I enjoy making videos, I enjoy being at the allotment and growing my own produce. I like growing flowers as well, you know, I have been known to enjoy that. I enjoy growing sunflowers, things like that. Okay, so I've used quite a bit of paint already. Maybe I've whacked too much. Whoa, whoa, wasp. Maybe I've whacked too much on. Possibly. It's quite a thick brush. Definitely one layer though. I don't think it's going to need two. If I was painting it onto a white shed or a shed with no paint on already, it definitely needs two layers. But I think because there's already a layer under there of grey paint, which is also, you know, it's a dark colour like this, I don't think we should need two layers. It's quite expensive paint, this actually. It was like 15 quid, 20 quid for a bucket. It's quite expensive. But it's a good quality, it's nice and thick. It's what we want. There's nothing worse than thin paint, is there? Like watercolour paint or something that just runs off. So yeah, gardening, making videos. I used to be a chef, so I do enjoy cooking, but I'm much more passionate about gardening. I prefer that, really. I came out of the chefing industry, like I said. Didn't really like the weekends, and since having a family, you know, I've got a 3-year-old, or almost 3-year-old son. You know, since then especially, I don't want to work weekends. I'm sure, you know, a lot of people are the same. Chefing and hospitality in general, really, it's not a very good lifestyle if you want the weekends for family and stuff, and you want to, you know, you want the time because it's long hours. Flipping stressful as well. It can be very stressful as well. Very, very busy. Yeah, it was stressing me out. I was working long hours, weekends as well, and I just thought, you know, it just wasn't working for me anymore. My dream job would actually be YouTuber, if I could, if I earned enough making videos and doing this. I would really love to do that. But of course, it's got to pay the bills. That's the most important thing. I work in a factory at the moment. I'm not going to say where, because I don't think that'd be a good idea doing it on a video, disclosing where I work. But I work in a factory, which is all right, pays the bills. I get the weekends off. Yeah, pays the bills. That's the most important thing, really. It's not something I'm passionate about, but you know, hopefully in the future I do get into something I'm passionate about, something in gardening, maybe YouTube, possibly. We'll see. I think it's important that you always follow your dreams. You know, always have something, some big ambitions and dreams. Speaking of bills, isn't everything going up in price at the moment? Flipping heck. What, that same wasp keeps coming back. Must be after the smell of the paint, maybe the paint's attracting them. Yeah, bills, flipping heck fire. Council tax has gone up, water's gone up. Everything seems to be going up. It's crazy how expensive things are becoming. How expensive is it to eat out as well? It's becoming seriously expensive to eat out now. You're talking 100 quid just for a couple of you at a decent restaurant, at least. Well, I like to do a lot of cooking at home now. We don't really go out all that much, me and my partner. Okay, so that's one side of the shed almost done now. Quite a thick layer of it as well. I feel like I've used half of the paint just for this front. Probably am sticking too much on actually. So we're supposed to get a mini heat wave next week. That's what the news articles are all saying anyway. Well, actually, they're not just saying mini heat wave, they're actually saying stuff like the UK to get baked by 23 degrees weather. Like seriously? You get places around the world that get up to like 50 degrees Celsius sometimes. And they're doing these articles saying that we're going to get baked and we're going to get blasted by a 20 degree heat wave. You get the same in the winter actually in the UK. I found that we might have a bit of snow forecast, and then the news articles, literally, you'll get like UK to get bombarded by 1,000 mile long snow bomb, stuff like that, and it might only be -1 with a few snow showers. It's absolutely insane, and I want to know who's writing this stuff. And I want to know who's reading it as well, because clearly people read it and people believe it. But I want to know who's writing this sort of stuff. They're very good at making stories up, that's for sure. Yeah, it happens a lot. In the summer, we might have a warm week and literally they'll act like everybody needs to go out and panic buy water bottles and all sorts. Like, just calm down. Just calm down, it's summer. Okay, that's one side of the shed done. I think it's a good coat. Should be enough. So we'll move round and do the side now. How long has it been? 15 minutes. It's probably going to be about an hour. Fair play to you if you manage to watch the whole thing. Let's do this side. There's quite a lot of surface area here. Actually, I should have probably put duct tape or something around the windows so I don't accidentally paint the windows. We'll just have to be careful what we're doing, I think. Hopefully we get away with that. It should be alright. Let's just whack it on. So, yeah, I've accidentally got some on there. In case some of you are wondering where I live, well, I'm not actually going to tell you where I live. I live in the northwest of England, Lancashire. Quite a few people have wondered whereabouts in the world I am. You can probably tell from my accent actually. I know a few of you have said, oh yeah, I can tell you're a Lancashire lad, your accent. I know quite a few subscribers actually are from Lancashire, aren't they actually? Quite a few of you. So we don't have the coldest weather, but we don't have the warmest at the same time. It's quite moderate actually. So obviously it's not as warm as down south, but it's far milder than Scotland. Quite wet actually usually. Well, actually not recently, it's been quite dry recently. It's been dry everywhere for the last couple of months. I'm probably going to have to wipe that glass afterwards. Should have really put tape. I've not brought any down to the plot with me. I'm sure we can, yeah, we'll wipe it off. It's supposed to be dry for the next week at least, so yeah, a good time to get the shed painted, really. I wouldn't have done this if it was forecast rain. Usually we do have a lot of rain forecast. It's usually very wet, but it's been very dry lately. I'm not complaining though, because the RHS actually came out and said that they think that slug populations will be much lower this year because of the dry weather. I'm not going to complain at all of that. But I was struggling with water for a time because my water butts were empty. I'm actually going to get an IBC. In fact, I've already got one. I've already purchased it. I just need to bring it onto the plot. It's still near the allotment shop. But they weren't turning the water on until it was necessary because, you know, money and stuff. And they turn the water off for the winter anyway, so the pipes don't freeze and stuff. But they weren't turning it on until it was necessary because they want to save money, which is fair enough, makes sense. You know, we're all trying to save money. Water is flipping expensive, considering it falls out the sky anyway. You know, it literally falls out the sky, and it's a very expensive. So you know, it's fair enough. But they decided to turn it on a bit early because it's been very, very dry. But I am going to get. I've already got 2 water butts, which I emptied very quickly actually. But I'm going to put that IBC up. I'm going to connect it to the shed. I'm going to connect it around the other side because there's a lot of roof space being wasted here. It's a lovely colour. Lovely colour. There is rules on the allotment. Our allotment site has rules. You're not allowed bright colours, you're only allowed muted tones. I think this is okay. This isn't ridiculous. It's not like a bright blue. It's not like I'm painting my shed bright pink or anything like that. So it should be all right. Well, it is all right. I've been told. You know, it's a nice colour. When it dries as well, it'll be a bit darker than this. I'm not too sure why there's a rule about that though. Why you're only allowed muted tones. I don't really understand. But it's the council for you, I suppose. Council rules. You don't want to blind anyone with bright pink paint. I don't know. I'm not too sure. If anyone can tell me why councils make rules, you're not allowed bright coloured sheds, I don't know. Maybe the wildlife? I don't know. I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee. Okay, I think we should have enough paint to cover it actually, I think, because we've done the front and we've almost done this entire side. There's just the other side and the back to do now. I reckon we'll have enough. So I just want to take this opportunity, if you've watched this far, if you've watched this far, I'm assuming you watch many of my videos. I want to know what content you guys like the most. What content do you like? Do you like the how-to videos where I tell you how to do things whilst showing you what I'm doing? Or do you just like the walkarounds that I do? Because I've done a few different types of video on the channel. I've done reviews, I've done the how-tos, I've done showing you what I'm doing. But yeah, what do you want to see? And actually a few of you have said that you don't like edited videos very much. I mean, to be honest, the only editing I really do is just cutting and snipping footage. Otherwise, you know, if I don't do that, you'll just see footage of me staring like that, thinking what to say next. Because, you know, sometimes I do pause and think about what I'm saying, or I say something wrong, and I'm sure you probably won't want to hear that. Or I might swear. If I do something wrong, I might be like, oh, and swear, and yeah, I don't want to keep that in there either. So that looks pretty good. I need to get these bits here. This is a tiger shed, by the way, not sponsored or anything like that. I bought this before I started YouTube, actually, 3 years ago. I did do a review on it, just simply to help people who were thinking of buying a tiger shed. No sponsor or anything like that. It's a pretty good shed, actually. It's done really well so far, 3 years. It's going to last many more years, and 10 years, 15 years, whatever, at least. But yeah, they're not the cheapest sheds. I'd say they're pretty mid-range, but it's a shiplap, tongue and groove cladding, so it's not like your cheap overlap that will fall to bits after like 5-10 years. It'll last a bit longer than that. Does the job anyway. It needed a lick of paint. So when I first took an allotment on, I was only 22 years old, and I think a lot of people found that quite funny. A lot of people laughed, started calling me granddad and all that, because it is, historically it's something that the older generation would have because they have more time, retired and all that. So everyone used to say, "Oh, well, how come you've got an allotment? Oh, you're old. Why you're not going out and getting drunk like most people are in their early 20s?" Which a lot of people do. But my idea of relaxing and having a good time is coming down to the allotment and getting my hands dirty, getting dirt in my fingernails. I've always been like that, to be honest, since I was a child. I've been known to have a couple of pints. Don't get me wrong, I'll have a couple of beers whenever I'm going out. To be fair, I don't really go out very often, but at Christmas time, whatever, if there's a staff party, I'll have a couple of drinks. But I'm not one to get drunk at all. I'm not a big drinker at all. Why go out and spend £50 on beer, or even more than that actually? A night out's pretty expensive. Around the Preston area, Blackpool area and all that, at least Manchester, flipping expensive. You're talking £100 on a night out at least. And I'd rather spend £100 on plants. I don't know about you, but I would much rather spend £100 on plants. Or compost even. So yeah, I'm now 28. 28. I found actually that over the last, I don't know how many years, but definitely now there's a lot more younger people taking allotments on. I see on YouTube and Instagram, a lot of younger people are getting into allotments, which is really good. I think it's brilliant. As I said, I'm one of them. I think people have realised, younger people, they've got more time to do stuff now. Like, they get jobs that have a better work-life balance. I think that's really important as well. I think historically though, younger people, I just got stung on the butt by a nettle. Oh. Yeah, don't do that. Don't sit in a bed of nettles. I've got a few nettles on the floor there. I need to clear them. I've just stuck my bum in them. Ow. What was I saying? Yeah, people are, getting jobs that have a better work-life balance. At the end of the day, it's not all about work. You've got to find a balance as well. That's why I got out chefing. Because I just found I was working all the time. I wasn't enjoying myself. How much battery have we got left? Ah, we're all good yet. We're at 29 minutes. If you've watched this far, then well done. I challenge you to watch till the very end. Oh, and remember to like and comment as well. Liking and comment goes a long way. It sends positive signals to YouTube. Shows that people like my video, and then I'll reach more people, so it helps me out. So big thank you for that. So if you like the video, if you like this ramble, me just rambling on for an hour, then yeah, hit the like button. Thank you very much. Right, that's one side. I think that's a pretty good coat of paint on there. If there's any bits that I've missed, I'll go over it again, give it another once over, but that's this side. I'm going to move you around. Oh, blimey. My arse is stinging. I stung myself. There's a bed of nettles. I don't know if you can see that down there. Just bear with me a moment. There we go. Right, I think we'll be right there. Yeah, be right. Oh, I need to get a refill. I need a bit more paint. Ah, yeah, there's plenty of paint left. I reckon we should be able to do it. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, so what else should I talk about? It's a bit awkward. I should have really cleared it behind here, shouldn't I? Get rid of that. Right. So it's quite therapeutic painting this shed. The reason why I'm actually doing this is this video is actually inspired by Sean James Cameron. I was talking to him and he told me about his video where he painted his shed. So, and he said, yeah, I think you should do the same video. You should do a video where you paint your shed and talk. So that's what I'm doing. So this video is inspired by him. So, one of those YouTube gardeners that goes all the way back 15 years ago at least now, since the very start really, which I used to watch a lot when I was just starting out as a kid gardening. Beautiful. It's much better than the slate grey colour that was on here. I'll tell you what, this brush makes things so much quicker than just even a roller, to be honest. I couldn't really use a roller because of the grooves, because it's, you know, because it's tongue and groove and it's, you know, it's got them indentations in the wood. It'd be quite difficult with a roller, I think. It's alright if it's flat, if you're using a roller, but it is not. Now another question I want to put in there is, do you dig or no dig in your garden or allotment or whatever you choose to grow in? I used to be dig when I first took this allotment on. I was dig for quite a couple of years. I used to dig, but then because the ground is so heavy clay, I figured actually that it'd be better to grow in raised beds, because I used to grow stuff in pallet collars as well, and things seem to grow better in the pallet collars than in the open ground. So I thought, you know what, I think I know what I should be doing here, raised beds. But not only is it better quality soil, you know, it's well draining and the plants grow better in it. They look good, it's easier on your back, they warm up quicker in the spring, you don't have to dig them, just literally just apply a layer of compost every year, give it a quick rake. You don't have as many weeds either because you just smother in the weeds when you add the compost every year. It's a no-brainer really. But the quality of soil is just so much better because you're adding the materials yourself. I mean, there is the initial costs, of course, you know, buying the materials, wood's expensive. There are ways to make it cheaper, of course, getting reclaimed wood or, you know, using pallets if you want, or any other material. You can use flags, metal. But, you know, they can last a number of years if you look after them, if you line them. I line them with damp-proof membrane to stop the soil from touching the wood, so they do last longer. So now all my allotment is raised beds, pretty much. There's a couple of beds that are in ground now, but the rest of them are all raised. And they are expensive to fill, but you can use the hugelkultur method. You can layer organic materials and then you can just add a layer of topsoil and compost on top. So actually it can be quite cheap to fill them up. If you were to just use bagged compost, you'd have to take out a bank loan. Literally, I'm not joking. Pay with Klarna for the amount of compost you'd need. Yeah, there is definitely ways of making it cheaper. It's a long-term investment though. Once you've got them raised beds, you'll have them for many years. But the compost inside as well, you'll have that forever. And even if you have to rebuild the beds in the future, you still got all that compost. Police sirens, ambulance. It's quite loud here. There is a busy road that runs around the allotment site, so there is a lot of traffic sounds sometimes. You get quite a lot of loud cars going past, like boy races and stuff. Loud, and a lot of traffic, especially during rush hour. It's quite loud. So I don't really like filming during them busy times because you can hear it on the microphone. Oh, we're going through this paint now. We've got one more side to do. We've nearly done this side. I don't really want to get another bucket of it because, you know, I don't think I'd use it. Oh, actually I could use it, maybe paint the raised beds, I suppose. Anyway, yeah, are you dig or no dig? Quite a few people, people are quite divided on that, I think. Some people think it's a waste of time doing no dig and it's not worth doing, but some people like the old-fashioned way, the digging way. All right. Hopefully this is more interesting than watching paint dry. Hopefully. How long have we got? We're on 38 minutes. Move that out of the way. So if you've managed to watch this far, leave a comment saying, look at the size of that courgette. Courgettes. Speaking of courgettes, they really can give you a lot, can't they? A few years ago, when I was a little bit more inexperienced, should I say, with growing courgettes. I decided, because the year before one year I decided to grow more courgettes, because the year before that I didn't have any success. I had cucumber mosaic virus. So I thought, right, if we plant more of them, you know, if we get cucumber mosaic virus again, at least we'll get a courgette crop, hopefully. Well, no. Doesn't quite work like that with gardening, because you might think that doing one thing different the next year will get rid of problems you had the previous year. But not always the case. No, we didn't have any problems with disease, did we? Or pests. And I am not joking, we had dozens of courgettes per week. We were giving them away to everyone. We couldn't get rid of them fast enough. It was crazy. I think I planted about 15 plants, which sounds absolutely crazy. But yeah, that's what I did. The previous year I grew 4 courgettes, I think. So sometimes you can never strike it right, really. Sometimes it's all just a gamble. One year you might plant 2 courgettes, they get disease, and then you think, all right, I'll plant more next year, and then they might do really well and give you a massive crop. I found that every year is different on the plot. One year tomatoes might do well, but peppers might not do very well. Then the next year tomatoes will do awful, maybe tomato blight, and then peppers will do really well. Last year was awful for pretty much anything, actually. Everything was really bad last year. I'm sure it was the same for quite a few people, actually. Last year was a disaster. The only thing really that did well last year was peppers did quite well, actually. Peppers did quite well, and we actually had a decent crop of carrots as well, and pretty much, I think that was pretty much it, to be honest. Most of the other things were a failure. I'm going to move you around the other side. Last side now. Okay. Right, yeah, this bit's quite open. Previously, the old allotment neighbour who had this plot next to me, we have it now, but they had a shed here, so I couldn't get in here to paint because there was a shed literally like here. So I was literally like trying to get my paintbrush down the side of it to paint it. So that's why the coating's not very good here. But never mind, we're gonna give it a good lick now. This is all we've got. We'll see, hopefully, if we do it sparingly. I mean, there's not that much paint on here anyway. So, a bit more about me. My name is James. I know it's down to earth for Jim, but my name is actually James. I prefer Jim though. A lot of people know me as Jim. When I was a chef, a lot of people called me Jim. That's actually how it started. Jim was my name. Chefing was my game. Now it's gardening. I was actually born in Blackpool. I live around the Preston area now. What else is there to know? What music do I like? Pretty much anything. I know that's a very easy answer. It's an easy way out. But yeah, pretty much quite a lot actually. Quite a lot of different music. I do like a few of the older bands like the Beatles and Pink Floyd. Think of some more. Loads of different ones. I do like a bit of 80s, 90s, and I like more modern bands like Linkin Park and things like that. I like a bit of house music, a bit of the chart music, you know, just your standard pop tunes. As long as it's catchy, I'll listen to it, to be honest with you. I've got such a broad range of music. My other half says I've got a terrible taste in music. She's always roasting me about that. My Spotify playlists. She's always saying, you got a terrible taste in music. It's obviously joking, obviously, but yeah, I listen to pretty much anything. Right, I reckon we can get this done just before the hour mark. What are we on now? 45 minutes, yeah, definitely. Got a bit of battery left. I'm filming this on my camera. Sometimes I film on the camera, sometimes I film on the phone. Just depends what I'm doing. If I'm walking around the plot, usually my phone is more stable. So I do that with that. I reckon we're just gonna have enough here. Literally, just. I've only got a small puddle of it in the bottom of there. Excellent stuff. It's a good day for it as well. It's a bit cloudy. It's not raining though, at least. Yeah, hopefully this is a relatively interesting and moderately entertaining video for you. Depends what you're doing, of course. If you're cooking tea or doing something else, gardening, I suppose it's all right, isn't it? But I don't expect anyone to sit there and watch me for 1 hour. I don't think so. I don't think I'm that exciting. But quite a lot of YouTube actually tells you what device people watch your videos on, and something like 50% of people watch it on TV, which actually I'm really surprised. I watch YouTube on my phone. I mean, my son will watch YouTube on TV, you know, like YouTube Kids and stuff on TV, but I tend to watch it on my phone. But like 50% watch it on TV. But they are saying that YouTube is the new Netflix. You know, it's seems to be overtaking Netflix, and more people are watching YouTube than Netflix, which I think is definitely true. I don't think it's going anywhere. It's already been around for 20 years. It's just had its 20th birthday. So, you know, I think it's here to stay, being owned by Google, which is the biggest search platform anyway. I don't think it's going to go anywhere anytime soon. It's good for people that watch YouTube and make videos. Just got a little bit left. I reckon we'll do it. Just. Yeah, the paint which I put on here previously wasn't great. It was like a cheap, like a big massive bucket was like £7. It was really thin. It was probably just a stain. It wasn't a paint like this. It was like a shed stain, like a wood stain, whatever you call it. So it wasn't actually like supposed to be like this. This is like good stuff. It was £20, so I'd expect it to be good. Whew. I don't mind the smell of fresh paint, but it does sort of knock you sick a little bit after a while. After 50 minutes, almost 50 minutes, starts to make you go a bit, feel a bit sickly. Alright, last bit on the bottom now, and then I'll just go over and get any little bits that I've missed. a loud bird. Sounds of spring. Just stay out of my beds and don't dig any holes in the soil, which I've been doing for the last few weeks. Looking for worms. Someone actually mentioned that they might be digging for ants. There are a lot of red ants in the beds. Oh yeah. Look at that. I think we've just done it. We've literally just done it. Got a tiny little slither in the bottom of there. That's a little bit. Oh yeah. There we go. And we're empty. I think the paint bucket is just about empty as well. Oh, there's a tiny bit. There's a tiny bit in it. But pretty much just about had enough. Yeah, it's just going to be one coat of that, and yeah, it doesn't need to. It's definitely just going to be one coat of that. Beautiful. That is stunning. Oh, I still need to do the this bit up here, whatever you call it, the trim on the edge of the roof. What's it called? Look at that. That is a beautiful colour. Midnight blue. We'll just take the squirrel off there. Yeah. We'll take the squirrel off. This is a solar panelled squirrel, which my other half got from B&M for £1. It was reduced. Absolute bargain. Yeah, I'm gonna just quickly do the trim. What do you call it? What's it called, this? You've got the finial here. But what's this called? The edging roof panel? I don't know. We're gonna paint that anyway. Lovely stuff. Okay, there we go. I hope you enjoyed today's very random video, to be honest. Very random. Let's paint that as well. I've got a bit of OCD, so any bits that I miss, I'll definitely be going over again with that. Yep. Over there again. I'm scared to go in the shed again. There's a wasp in there. There was a wasp in there before. I think the queen wasp, is still buzzing around. I only got rid of the nest. There was no wasps in it. So it might actually come back. But as much as wasps are pretty beneficial, I can't be having a wasp nest in the shed. It just isn't going to happen. You know, I go in my shed for tools, and I've been stung a few times by wasps, and it's not very pleasant. We don't want to be having that. Plus my son comes down to the allotment sometimes as well, and we don't want him getting stung by wasps either. And you know, if I was to just leave a wasp nest in the shed, it will just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and by the time we get to summer, it'll be huge. There'll be wasps flying around everywhere. So I don't know, some people might think, oh, animal cruelty or whatever, but we can't have wasps in the shed, unfortunately. If it was somewhere else on the plot, like in the corner somewhere or out of the way, then it might be a different matter, but I couldn't leave them in the shed like that. So there we go. I think it looks brilliant with a nice fresh lick of paint, midnight blue colour. Really happy with that, really good stuff. Hopefully this video was a bit more interesting than watching paint dry. Bit of a ramble, something a bit different to be honest with you, but if you've managed to watch right till the very end, then fair play to you and congratulations. It's a long one, definitely a very long one, but yeah, just a bit of fun really, and yeah, all good, all done. Remember to like and subscribe and comment, it means a lot, helps a lot. That's all for now guys, that's me painting this shed, and that's it, nothing else to say. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.